Well, I look kind of sweaty right now because I was just outside working in the yard. And so it's been about 2 weeks. I think I'm in my third week that I haven't been working. And man, it's been tougher than you'd think, right? Most people are like, oh my God, you're not working, that's great. But for somebody like me, a high functioning anxiety, ADHD, having to keep myself busy, because sometimes being in your own head thinking of things that, I don't know, from 20 years ago is daunting, right? It could get to be a lot. So trying to find a way to make space for myself. It's funny, you don't realize how people that are high functioning, anxious people and workaholics, like we tend to use things to distract ourselves from dealing with the chaos of your mind, right? So you're always keeping yourself busy. And I was working like 6-7 hours, not hours, I don't even know what I'm talking about right now, 6-7 days a week, and it was just constant. And that was great for me because I could function in it, right? It kept me busy. I wasn't always thinking. It wasn't like, oh my God, something's going to happen. For me, when I have anxiety, I get very anxious, and a lot of the anxiety that I have are health issues because of like the, dizzy spells I've gotten and all the other foolishness. So I have like this anxious health issues. So sometimes, my ears, I have a problem with my ears, right? And so when my ear starts to feel full or it starts clicking, I can get dizzy spells. And then, so if I'm feeling like it's tight over here, then I get like, oh my God, I'm going to have a dizzy spell, which then causes anxiety, which then causes panic. And then of course you have the spell because you've worked yourself into a full-blown panic attack. So trying to settle my mind through all of the quiet has been challenging. It's been good for me, but I have moments where I'm like, oh my God, can I do this? I need to get busy. I need to hurry and find something. And then I have to slow down and breathe and tell myself that everything is going to be okay, and trust. Oh, there's a fly. Trust in God and know that He has me, and what is supposed to be will be. This is for my benefit. This is for me to sit in my shit and deal with it, to work through it, and just come out on the other side and be better. That's the hope of all of this, is that I'm going to take the time to really invest in myself and work through a lot of this and figure out, like, what does the next thing in my life look like? When you have kids and you've worked your whole life, and you have trauma from the past, right? Again, anybody that knows me knows I was a runaway. There was a lot of stuff that I went through at a young age, and you work through things and you figure it out. It's survival. And when I started therapy a few years ago, my therapist said, you've been living in survival mode for your whole life. Like, you don't even know what it's like to not be in survival mode. So trying to sit with myself and like, what does the rest of my life look like? Like, who do I want to be? Who am I? Because you just don't even know anymore. I remember maybe about 6 or 7 years ago, my sister asked me, she said, what do you want to do? So she asked me, what do you want to do for your birthday? Not for the kids, not for, Randy. What do you want to do for yourself? And I was like, I don't even know. I mean, everything that I've done has been for the kids. It's been for Randy. It's been for the greater good of the family that I was building, and everything has been for them, even work. I worked myself from, stepping into a role my whole life, and then, ending up on the other side, managing 33 stores. Everything I did was for them, and so now stepping away from everything and saying, well, now what do you want? what does next look like for you? I have no idea. I have no idea. I was like in this moment of, you know what, I was cleaning the house and um, we were painting and going through everything and redoing everything because the landlord was changing the floors. And so I literally, any of my tank tops, all my stuff now has like paint and stuff on it. So I said, well, let me go to, look for a couple new tank tops. And I'm looking at clothes and I'm like, oh my God, like, do I even really like that? Like, what does it look like on me? Like, do I even like what I look like? So when you go from working 6 and 7 days a week in 12-hour days, and then you start focusing just on you, there's so many things that you question. Like, what does that look like and feel like? Because it feels so inauthentic, which then triggers a nervous system, right? And then you feel nervous. And then when you trigger your nervous system and you feel nervous, then the anxiety comes in and then you're like, oh, fuck, what am I doing here? Sorry, I'm not supposed to be cursing. My daughter convinced me to give up cursing. So I got to get better at that. So what does next look like? And how do you function in it? Having ADHD, having anxiety, figuring out who you are again. Like, who is Christy? Who was she? I mean, I don't even know. I mean, I think I had Jaleesa at 21. So I was pretty young. So at 21, you don't even really know who you are yet. But then I became a single mom and I had to figure it out, and everything became about her, right? So it was all about her. And that's how my life continued for evermore until I'm here. So yeah, a lot going through the noggin in these last 3 weeks. And it's been a roller coaster up and down. Like, I'm happy and I feel free, and then I'm anxious and I'm afraid. And then I'm like, oh my God, what do I need to do? What am I going to do? Who am I? Who do I want to be? What do I even like to do? I don't know. I was working all the time. By the time I got done with work, I was exhausted and went to bed. What do I like to do anymore? I don't drink. I don't smoke. I know my doctors tell me I have to get healthier. I have to lose weight. Do I need to go and enroll in a gym? Like, what do I need to do? I will say that I've lost like 4 pounds since I left the job 3 weeks ago. So, yeah, there's something to that. Well, that was my rant for the day. Thank you. I appreciate you all, and we'll figure it out together. If anybody else is going through what I'm going through, message me. Let me know how you're dealing with it. Have a great day. Shine bright.